What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So, I can't go to the lake today. It's like 90-something degrees, and I'm just not taking a chance on a heat stroke. But I decided to do a little homemade thing. If you guys follow Tactical Bassin, then you know they have really been hammering out things like wobbleheads. Wobbleheads are one of my favorite go-tos, just because I'm not a huge Texas rig fan. And plus, if you've seen me catch stuff on that Deadly Ned, it's basically a super tiny wobblehead that, you know, and it works. It really does. So what I've decided to do is come out here and actually make a tutorial on how to make your own wobbleheads. Just because, man, you get like 2 of them for $8 or $9 in most places, and I'm cheap, guys. I'm real cheap. I'm just not willing to pay that. So what I've got here on the table, I'm going to show you guys everything you're going to need. We're going to start off real quick with the most important thing: some form of safety eye gear. This stuff can explode. I normally have a face mask on, but I can't find it. So I'm a little sketched out right now doing it because I've had a buddy, and just to explain how dangerous this can be, a buddy of mine worked in an aluminum factory. If hot and cold steels like this mix, they can explode. The aluminum can explode. I'm gonna say it again, can explode. So just be real careful, and I'll make sure to tell you where to keep your mold. Real quick, let's go ahead and get to what you're gonna need. Okay, so what you're gonna need right off the bat is your wobblehead mold, and it's known as the football swing jig mold, model FBB6SWG. That's the one I use. Up next is these little guys right here. These are the little clamps that, or the thing that makes it the wobblehead. As you can tell, they come in packs of 100. This is what I got. Then your personal size of hooks. I got some Gamakatsu EWGs. They're the 4/0. Then it's going to be up to you on what you want to use. I have both black and green pumpkin. So these guys right here. The most important part of this, honestly, other than the mold and the clamps, is going to be your form of lead. I'm just using these right here because I don't use these style. I got them given to me, and it's going to make good for melting. And what you're going to want to do is get you some real oil. Okay, I'm just using this Abu Garcia brand. And like I said, the other things are going to be your eyewear and some form of a heat resistant glove, because these things get really hot. Okay, so here's what you're going to start doing right off the bat. One, come over here, you take your mold. Take this, the real oil, and right here they have a little hole in them. Okay, you're going to put that real oil right down there in that little hole on each of them, just to help lubricate the joints a little bit. Give it a nice little. You get the point. Then, once you get that up and going, get your lead, whatever kind you're going to use. I'm using, like I said, I'm using these little torpedo styled sinkers, and then you drop them into your hot pot. Okay, so after you've got your lead in there, you're going to sit, wait, let it melt. You don't, because it's not going to work if it's not melted. The one important thing I will tell you guys to do is to take this guy right here, this mold, and set it on top of whatever you're using, so that way this has the chance to get to the temperature of the lead when you pour it in, because you don't want that exploding on you. And that's one of the #1 causes, is, like I said, cold aluminum, hot lead, go boom. I'm gonna keep repeating myself so you understand. My brother says I repeat myself too much. Ah, well, it happens. Real quick side note, make sure you're in a very well, like, breathable area. I'm outside. I can't remember the name of the word I'm looking for, so we're just gonna say breathable area. And I use this right here. It's just a little scooper. It basically gets the imperfections off the top, and just make sure you're in an area to where you will not get these fumes. They can kill you. It's lead. Now that we actually have the lead melted, here's what you want to do. One, you want to lay it down. Make sure that you're going to be putting it in the right way. So this is the little, I don't know if you guys can actually see that or not. Come on, get off my face. There we go. That little guy right there. That's what you're wanting to use. What you want to do is you want to make sure that when you lay it down, you put it inside the correct way, because if not, then this is all for nothing. And you got to start over. So what you want to do is make sure that that opening is facing the back side, and then you're going to slide your little hook right there on it, okay? Because the way that you want it is toward, you want it to look just like this. There we go. Make sure it's sealed nice and tight. Also, remember which one you put it in. You don't want to put it in this one right here and then pour into one of these other ones. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put it underneath it, squeeze tightly, and then just pour the lead in, guys. That's it. From there, you're just going to keep it closed really tight for just, it doesn't take long. Take it, pull it out. You're going to have a nice little piece that you'll just cut off later. Don't put this on any kind of plastic, it will melt it. And then you just keep doing them that way. So we're going to get a few of these made, and as soon as we get these made, I'll show you what they look like. Okay, and so after you cut it off, you'll have this little piece right here, which we're gonna file that down later. But this is the end result, guys. I'm using a 7/16. That's the one I was molding. So it's really up to you guys which ones that you want to use. All right, got all of them clipped. What you want to do now is I like to take just a little file, and then I'll just go down and try to flatten that out, because that's going to give me a little bit on the left of the hang up side, and this is lead, so it's gonna, as you can tell, it's already starting to flatten out, just because, you know, it's lead, it's a soft metal. Just be careful not to hook yourself and pull too hard. I wouldn't know anything about that from experience, you know, about hooking yourself while doing this. Just, you know, just big guess. Now, there are sometimes complications that you don't mean to happen, and one of them would be, well, we'll go to this camera. If you go right here, it's not centered, okay? And if it's not centered, you know, it's kind of screwed up. So what I'll do is that little piece that connects it, I'll just end up cutting it so that way I can still use the hook at least. Set this aside later to set this little head aside later, and I can just remelt it down in the pot next time I decide to make some. And until then, I still have a hook. Now, here comes the fun part. Well, depending on if you enjoy this kind of stuff. This is where you get these guys right here. Your Protects. We're gonna do a couple in black and then a couple in green pumpkin. Let's see. All right, so what you wanna do, at least this is my experience with Protect, if you just take it, kind of fluff it up just a little bit, it's all nice and soft. So what you do, you take some kind of a heat source. That heat source, just go over it back and forth a few times. Try not to burn yourself. You don't want it super, super, super hot. Take it, drop it down in there real quick. You know, smack it off the sides. If you have to do it again, do it again. There you go, let it cool down for just a sec. And then do just a reheat. And then after this, it depends on if you want to do it or not. I do it just to toughen it up. You throw it in like a little oven, and that will harden the paint. I just hang it off my table, go on to the next one. That's it. Okay guys, so that's it. Like I said, it's really simple, and in the long run, it's cheaper. At the beginning, it might cost a little bit more after you buy the paint and the molds and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, if you want to save money, get some molds and do it yourself. By the time you're done, it should look just like this right here. It'll have like a nice little wobble. I mean, it's a wobble head. So there you go. But it should be pretty, it should look nice and pretty after you put the paint on it and you file it down. You've done all that. I go those extra steps. You don't have to do all the filing and all that stuff. You can just cut off the lead and go to the lake and be fine. But I enjoy the process of this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. You know what to do if you did, and if not, well, I don't know how to help you. Like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. See you guys on the next video, man.